Hey guys, how's it going? Warshak here, and in this review we're gonna have quite a few high caliber cards from my favorite class, the Warrior class. We're gonna look at the Omega card, the Legendary Warrior card. It's gonna be pretty thick. The first class that we're gonna cover, or the first card we're gonna cover, is actually gonna be the Hunter Legendary. And no, it's not a Savannah Highmane, guys, but I think it might be just as good if I understand this correctly. So it's a 7 mana 5/5 battle cry, summon 4/02 goblin bombs. So what the hell is a goblin bomb? There she is. It was a little delayed, but there it is. It's a 1 mana 0/2 mech. Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So basically you're summoning 4 of these bad boys. Each one does 2 damage. That's 8 damage to your opponent's face. If these end up triggering, obviously we might see some like Void Ripper action, because we're gonna need to blow up these goblin bombs. And as we know, Void Ripper flips the attack and health of all the minions on the board, meaning that the goblin bombs would kill themselves, therefore detonating, hitting your opponent in the face for big daddy damage. 7 mana 5/5, like we said, isn't huge, but this isn't a death rattle effect. This is a battle cry. It happens right away. And then, as we know, mechs have a lot of synergy through their magnetic mechanic. The Hunter is getting a actually I haven't gone over yet, but Hunter's gonna get a card that allows it to also synergize with this goblin bomb. And I'm sure they're gonna get a couple other things that allow you to work with the goblin bombs to try to either get more value out of them, or pop them, and or conjoin them with other mechs, so that mechs then, when they die, they're gonna be able to do the 2 mana or the 2 damage to your opponent's face. But either way, really powerful card in my opinion. It's the first time they've actually printed a Hunter Legendary besides Savannah Highmane that doesn't absolutely suck. I mean, I guess we have King Crush, but that's been out since the basic set. And besides that, what have we gotten? Like Emerus, you know what I'm saying? We haven't really gotten anything. We got the Hydra the one time, but that still wasn't even really played in most of the Hunter decks. So this is actually what seems to be the first Legendary Hunter card that could possibly be playable in more than 0.1% of decks that are on ladder, which is cool. Next card we're going to look at is going to be the Christology. 2 mana, draw 2 1 attack minions from your deck. As we've seen, Call to Arms, everybody at first was like, hey, it really doesn't look that great, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really look that exciting, and the power level of that was pretty intense. So, and now when I look at anything that draws you anything from the deck with cheap minions, I'm like, oh gosh, this could be good. So 2 mana, you're drawing 2 1 attack minions from your deck. If you're going to play a card like this, you're probably running a very light deck. If you're running a very light deck, that means you're probably running Divine Favors. And Divine Favor, I think, is just strictly better than this card, unless you're playing against another aggro deck, and then both your hand sizes are either small or really big, and therefore Divine Favor wouldn't really do you too much. Probably really small. So maybe if there's some, like, you know, combo paladin that requires you to have minions that are like, you know what I'm saying, if they come out with like an 8 mana 1 something, and it says if you do something with it, you know, you win the game or some shit, like the DK, I don't know. I don't think off the bat it doesn't look that good, because you only draw them, you're not summoning them, you know what I mean? You're not. And as we know, Paladin, they have a decent amount of 1, you know, I wouldn't even say they have a decent amount of 1 attack minions. I figure like Argent Squire, Righteous Protector, just a 2 mana draw 2, but they're 1 drops. So I guess for thinning purposes, it's really good. If you're playing it like, let's say, a combo, you know, Paladin, if they exist in the next expansion, you know, this is a deck thinner, so that'll actually help. But how powerful is that at the moment? Does not look that great. Ooh, we got a Warrior card coming up. Yeah, yeet. The first Warrior card we're going to be looking at. 1 mana 1/3 mech. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain 2 armor. I like this, because whenever it takes damage, not whenever it survives damage, meaning like, let's say we trade into this to a bigger minion and it wouldn't survive, you wouldn't gain the armor. It'd be pointless. But even if this takes all of its health in 1 chunk, you know, you attack into a 4/1 and it dies, you still at least gain 1, you know, you gain 1 amount of the 2 armor, because normally max armor this guy can give you is 6 if he takes 1 damage at a time. So I like cards that say whenever this minion takes damage, instead of whenever this minion survives damage. I don't like the survives damage tag. I think those cards are bad, which makes me sad, because I'm pretty sure no, Rotface isn't. There's one of the cards that they printed recently for Warrior that says it has to survive damage, and that triggered me. But anyway, I like it. Anything that's a mech and it's a 1/3 and it goes into warrior and it's a control related card or gain armor card looks solid to me. This is a really nice card. Really nice card. Good card. We like that card. Moving along to Eureka. 6 mana shaman card. Summon a copy of a random minion in your hand. Okay. Obviously, they're really pushing this big shaman. I'm not gonna lie. Between the Spellstone, the last expansion, you know, and now Eureka, it's just they're really pushing some like big shaman archetype, and it just never works. I mean, it works kind of sometimes, like 25% of the time you win 100% of the time, but besides that, like, you could, like, you know, this is looking like a Malagos kind of thing. You know, you could play Malagos and have that in your hand and then summon a copy of him for 6 mana, and then for 4 mana you save coin, you could do like double lava burst, which is 20 damage. Whoop-de fucking do. No, you can't even do double lava burst. No, yeah, you could. No, you couldn't, because it costs 3. You need 6. And even with coin. I guess lightning bolts. And frost shocks. All of them. I don't know. This is like a reverse engineered Shadow Essence, because Shadow Essence pulls a 5/5 minion from your deck, right? Or it just summons a copy of a minion from your deck and it's 5/5, and this summons a copy of a minion in your hand but keeps the exact stats. So I mean, Earth Elemental, you know what I'm saying? So like if you're playing mostly big shaman cards like Earth Elemental, you know, the 8/8, the 8/8's the frost, I don't get, there's something frost giants, I don't know, I don't play them enough, but anyway, yeah, this is basically just going to be a big shaman card. I tried to think of something really cool but couldn't do it. Fireworks Tech. This is the hunter card I was talking about when we were looking at the legendary areas. So it's a 2 mana 2/1 battle cry. Give a friendly mech 1/1, and if it has death rattle, trigger it. That's so good. That's so good. 1/1, so he's basically a 2 mana 3/2 trigger a mech, trigger a battle cry, or a death rattle. I'm sorry, getting all my words mixed up today. I mean, that's just a really solid card. And what I'm liking here is that when they're printing cards like this isn't a card you play on turn 2 unless you already have, like, obviously a mech out, because even if it gives +1/+1, that's still pretty good. But this isn't like when they used to print really powerful early game cards like Tunnel Trog and stuff. Not only would those cards be greatly statted and very powerful for the turn you played them, they would continuously get value throughout the game no matter when you played them. But cards like this, decent, it's not terribly statted. You know, we see 2 mana 1/1s, Novice Engineer. But like, this is a card you want to save and use for something later, whether it be, you know, you play this on turn 4 with another 2-drop, you play it on 3 with another 1-drop, you know what I mean? You're not just curving out every turn with these, you know, very low mana costed, high statted minions that continuously gain value throughout the game. You're paying a premium for these abilities. We can see it here. The ability is powerful. The premium is good enough. So you're not like, if they play this on turn 2, you're not like, oh my god, you know, I lose the game. But if they play this on turn 6 and they combo it with something crazy, you're like, oh man, you know, they must have saved that since turn 2 or whatever. Or they saved it instead of playing minions, you know, they're waiting for their combo turn. So again, really liking the direction they're going here with the stats and these abilities. Definitely I'd take notice to that. Looking at this, I think this card is really powerful. 8 mana, 4/4 battle cry, summon a copy of each adjacent minion. So stat wise, not good, but ability wise, this is huge value, guys. You know, you have 2 decent sized minions, you play this in the middle just like you would Fungal Mancer, and you just generated 2 more of your giant minions on the board. As we know, Druid has no problem ramping and playing giant minions. Almost, like, imagine you just play this next to a Lich King, you still generate another Lich King, and you still got a 4/4. So you basically summoned an 8 mana, another Lich King, and it got an extra 4/4 to it. So even sometimes you could just hit 1 minion, and the fact that you're resummoning that minion plus getting an additional 4/4 on the board is very powerful. Plus, this goes along with the other card that we looked at, the 7 mana 5/5, or was it the 7 mana 7? It was a 7 mana 7/7. If you control 2 or more minions with 7/7 or 7 HP, then you deal 7 to all. So you basically use your Gloop Sprayer, you make more cards that have high HP or big minions, and you just follow up with your You're clear the board card. But anyway, this card's big. This card's a lot of value. This is a lot of value. You know, if Big Druid really isn't a thing, then this guy won't be played at all. But if like any sort of Big Druid is played, there's gonna be one of these in the deck. Guaranteed there'll be at least one. This card is just stupid value. He's oozing. He's glooping value. Rob, shut up. Okay. Mechanical Whelp, a 6 mana 2/2 mech death rattle, summon a 7/7 mechanical dragon. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at these death rattle cards, right? So like theoretically, if you're a hunter, you could play this on turn 8. You could play this and then play the card that pops the death rattle, and also gives this +1/+1. So you get a 3/3 6/6. You get a 6 mana 3/3, 2 mana 2/1, and a 7/7 mechanical dragon. Plus the 3/3 turns into another dragon. That's a pretty powerful turn 8 play. You made a 12/11 that summons another 7/7 for 7 mana. Seems solid. Play dead. Obviously anything with magnetic. Super weak to silence though. Super weak to silence. They haven't actually printed any silence cards yet. It's gonna be interesting. Hopefully they print like 1 or 2 more silence cards, guys. So like we're not prone to having to use fucking Ironbeak Owl and Spellbreaker. I mean, seriously, those are the, I mean, there's Earthshock now running around too, but like our silence are very lacking right now. It's either Ironbeak Owl, Spellbreaker. That's it. That's all of the options we have. We have no other options. I want more options, all right? I need more options. The missile launcher. I think this guy looks really cool, by the way. 6 mana 4/4 mech magnetic. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all other characters. So he's basically a I want to say Ravaging Ghoul, but you know, it's kind of like at the end of the turn, plus he's twice the mana cost, and he's only stats are an additional 1/1, but it can be played in any deck. So I think they printed this to give the any deck the ability to do 1 damage to everything, because currently that's always been like a warlock thing and a warrior thing, especially a warrior thing, but I'm saying warlock because they have Despicable Dreadlord, Defile. Both those do 1 damage to everything on the board. Or the Despicable does it to your opponent, the Defile does it to everything, but you get the point. Like warlock doesn't need to deal damage to his own minions. Warrior benefits through that, through like enrage effects, battle rage, stuff like that. So missile launcher, I don't know how good this is going to be. Really, I mean, that's a really high premium. I mean, 6 mana 4/4, that's a high premium just to do 1 damage to the end of turn to all other characters, which means you're damaging your own minions. And if you're not playing, like if you're playing warrior, you don't need to play this because you already have cards to do this. And if you're playing this and you're not warrior, you probably don't want to damage your own minions because your deck isn't built to do that like warrior is. So I don't see how good this card is at all. I mean, it might be played in warrior, maybe. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think that card's that great. Could be very wrong though. Could be very wrong. If it was like a 6 mana 5/4, I would look at it a little bit different, or like a 4/5. If it was a 6 mana 4/5 or 5/4, I'd be like, eh. But like a 4/4, oof. I don't know. Ooh, hot diggity dog. We're going into the warrior legendary, the Boom Ship. So it's a 9 mana, summon 3 random minions from your hand, give them rush. Doesn't have to be mechs, just 3 random minions from your hand. Big Mech Warrior is going to be coming at you live right now, chat. Big Rush Mech Warrior. And what's even cooler, so this card is obviously good. Okay, we don't have to say this card is obviously very, very good. But a card that combos with this, which I'll pull up, and then I'll move it to the side here. Hold on. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Oh, Jesus, I'm fucking everything up right now. Hold on, hold on. Technical difficulties. Here it is, here it is, here it is. Oh, no, now it's above my head. There we go. Oop. we have the Omega Assembly, which is, I want to combine these two together because they're probably meant to be played together. It was supposed to be our next card, but I moved it over and shrunk it. It's the Warrior Omega card, so it's a 1 mana discover a mech. If you have 10 mana crystals, though, you keep all of the 3 cards that you've discovered. So you're basically discovering 3 mechs, and on turn 10, you can go Omega Discovery, get 3 mechs, then play Boom Ship, and then summon, if those are the only 3 mechs in your hand, or only 3 minions in your hand, you get to summon all of the ones that you just made, which seems to be a pretty powerful combo, especially with the mechs that we've seen. A lot of them are pretty powerful. So definitely a combo to look out for on Warrior turn 10. It looks pretty solid to me, you know, to be honest. At least you're going to get 1, maybe even 2 sizable mechs. Granted that Warrior got a few big mechs, especially the 7 mana 3/9 that you're going to have Rush. You're going to be able to trade into your opponent's minions. And yeah, they're both odd, so we can maybe see this in some sort of odd control mech warrior, which would be super sick. I'm gonna definitely be trying that out. I'm really liking the artwork on the Boom Ship. It reminds me of Iron Man. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to do, especially with the thing in its chest. There's literally a circle in the center of these guys' chest. So, hello, Iron Man. That's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I'm glad that Warrior got something cool. Like, whether how, it doesn't matter. This isn't gonna be bad, right? It's not gonna be like, I don't think this is like tier, it might be, I don't know. I don't think this is like super tier 1 status by any means, but it's like cool enough that I can go back to like, you know, a control-esque warrior class now and be like, this deck isn't absolutely garbage and it's super cool, right? I mean, who doesn't want to summon 3 mechs from their hand and give them Rush in there and fucking just beat up some other mechs? I feel like we're playing like in a battle, not battle royale, but what do you call them? There's like that old TV show where all the mechs battle in a pit, and there's always that one that flips them around, and they always went under him and just flipped them, and that was always the winner. Was that little fucking, it looked like a fucking frying pan, and he just went boop, and he just flipped them all over. I don't know why this is reminding me of that, but I just imagine all of the classes having a bunch of mechs, and everybody's in a pit, and everybody's like punching each other, and pieces are flying. I don't know. This is what I go to bed to thinking. This is where my mind is. So with that, let me know what you think of these cards. Some cool stuff in this particular review. I'm sure we've got some more cool stuff right around the corner, as I think we've just hit over, I think, 50% of the cards coming out of the set. I'm pretty sure we have a sizable amount more as well. Like, you know, left, we've hit about, I think, just over 50%-ish, I think. So we got some cool stuff so far. Really looking forward to this expansion. Anything that mixes up the meta is going to be good, guys. Anything that mixes up the meta is going to be nice. So, these new mech cards, mechs has always been a fun kind of thing. So hopefully this expansion gives us joy, at least for a week or 2 in the Hearthstone meta. So with that, thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you think. Anything in the comment section below, whether you like what I say or disagree with what I say. It's always interesting reading what your guys' input is. As always, I'm Warshak and or Rob, and happy whatever the hell day it is.